Good morning. We're back. We are back for yet another Data Center Dude watch party. This time for Cisco Live 2020 that was postponed a couple weeks ago to the exact same week as SAP Sapphire, a 5-day event, virtual event, VeeamON, a 2-day event. Now we've got Cisco Live, a 2-day event. Dell EMC's making announcements. Pure Storage made announcements. NetApp's got some announcements. Everybody's got announcements. Stop it. You guys are doing everything and trying to do everything in the same week. And it didn't really hit me till about 20, 30 minutes ago where I can't take it anymore. It's too much. It's too much. We're about 15 minutes away from the start of the keynote. Thank you guys for joining us. Figured I'd jump on here a little bit early, give you guys an update on some things that were going on here on the channel, as well as other watch parties that we're planning to do, what that's going to look like, as well as other streams, projects in progress along the way. So, today is Cisco Live. We're going to be watching Chuck Robbins' keynote, and I think there's another one immediately after that we may watch as well. So, hang tight, strap in. Good morning, Jason. Strap in. We may do more than the Chuck Robbins keynote if they do a graceful handoff and we do one after the other. More like we had with MS Build a couple of months ago. So we'll see how it goes. We're definitely going to watch the Chuck Robbins keynote, but we'll see. Let me turn this down a little bit so I'm not competing with the music. New stream beats, by the way. The new upbeat stuff, the Gold album from Harris Heller, Alpha Gaming, and he has a new record label that he created for all of this called Senpai Music Group. Thank you, Harris. You freaking rock, dude. Okay, so schedule this week. Today, Cisco Live. We'll see how it goes. We're gonna start with Chuck and the keynote. Thursday. So no. We have a day tomorrow without a watch party, without an event, without a big announcement happening. Even though day 2 of Cisco Live is going to be happening and day 1 of VeeamON is going to be happening tomorrow, I'm going to give everybody a little bit of a breather. And then Thursday, we're going to come back for day 2 of VeeamON. And this is very intentional because I've been given some strategic insider information that the day 2 keynote is going to be 90 minutes of technical demos. Yes, that's what we want. We want to avoid the buzzword bingo. I expect today at Cisco Live we're going to hear 5G and enterprise and cloud and, right? I see Thursday as being a super techie kind of keynote with lots of demos, lots of our friends that have been in the industry for a long time. And then we're going to have an after party with special guest Rick Vanover. Rickatron will be making his way here onto the stream. Who's the senior director, I believe, I'm always scared I botch this, senior director of product strategy over at Veeam. So yes, that is going to round out the week. And then tomorrow, here on the channel, we're going to have one of my normal weekly streams. We normally stream Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays when we don't have a ton of events like this here on the channel. So make sure you're subscribed. We do fun stuff like building Data Center Dude's data center. That's been a fun one. Earlier this year, we were working on building Cloud World in Minecraft that was hosted in AWS, and I'm looking to revive that in the second half of the year. Basically, we were building giant monoliths of all the cloud provider logos in Minecraft. So figuring out a fun way to bring that back and host it, leveraging the cloud and things like that. Minecraft can be a little bit limiting sometimes in its scale and its deployments. So that was one of the things we ran into. But we've got to finish up the data center rack. And I don't have any of the other camera stuff turned on, so I can't show you guys just yet. But tune in tomorrow because we've got a new Cisco switch to configure and uplink to the core switch. We've got to uplink our 10 gig top of rack switch from MikroTik. And then I got a special delivery that I'm not going to spoil. You just have to come tomorrow. Those of you that know, don't spoil it in the chat. But we're going to be unveiling this said special delivery on stream live tomorrow. And that's going to give us a lot of work to do. But I need to get them into the thing so that they can have their time to initialize. I'll leave it at that. Thank you for joining us, everybody, today. I see the numbers coming up. Awesome. Welcome. My name is Nick Howell, a.k.a. Data Center Dude. And we do these things called watch parties, for those of you that haven't seen them before, where in the times that we're in, and even in times that we're not. I started doing them last fall with AWS reInvent and Microsoft Ignite and KubeCon in San Diego. They were events that I wasn't able to go to myself, but I still wanted to experience them with the community. So I started doing these as a way to watch the keynotes with, friends who also couldn't go. And then what it turned into was there's quite a few people around the world that don't get to go to all of the events. So the idea was born. We have watch parties. Just a time check here. We're about 9 minutes away, it looks like, from the start. You guys can sort of see it down there underneath me over here. Right there. Yeah. So watch parties were born, and it gained a lot of traction. I wanted to get more into live streaming. It was an entry point for me to sort of launch this new Data Center Dude channel. Thank you guys for subscribing, by the way, and being here with us. But I've been doing some live streams, making some new videos. I have a big roadmap of content that we're going to be creating over the next 6 months, including a lot more of these watch parties. We have about 20 events, virtual events, mapped out for the remainder of the calendar year that we're going to do watch parties for, just earmarked. So we're going to be lining up special guests for them. I want to take this to the next level as well. Could we potentially bring in a co-host? Maybe. You don't really want to see two people sitting there silently making snarky comments. Maybe you do. I don't think that would be too entertaining. But afterwards, we had our very first one. We piloted it with Kirk Ryan yesterday, talking about SAP after the SAP Sapphire keynote with Christian Klein, their CEO. Kirk Ryan and I talked about SAP HANA and Azure NetApp Files running in Microsoft Azure, and how that solution that was announced yesterday from NetApp, that we also have gained certification using Cloud Volume Service in Google Cloud for SAP. So lots of good stuff happening around Cloud Volume Service, Azure NetApp Files. NetApp's kind of the only one out there doing it. And I can say that objectively, confidently. There are certainly people that will connect you to the cloud, but actually delivering services in the cloud like that, native to your console in whatever service provider you want, and all of the features and services available across all three cloud providers, yeah. It's funny, the more we get into this, there's about 5 or 6 key names that are doing almost everything in the cloud. All right, what are we at here? About 7 minutes. What else can I talk to you about? Discord. A couple of months ago, we fired up a brand new sort of tech community. You can do !Discord in the chat, and it'll give you the link to it. But you should definitely come over and join. It is a really good time. We have lots of conversations about content creation, about studios, building PCs, all of the things you wouldn't expect from an enterprise tech community, video games, all the things you wouldn't expect from a tech community. But I want to, get everybody's content out there, have a new vehicle for sharing, and have bigger conversations. We have a whole array of channels dedicated to all these different talking topics and categories. So, 6 minutes. If you need to grab a drink, take a quick bio, now's the time. Forgive me, I'm double checking and making sure. First of all, Cisco looks like they got their stuff together. No more SAP problems like we had yesterday. Well done, Cisco. You've had this up and running for a couple hours now, and I've been kind of just, it's allowed me to stage everything properly. Well done. If you're here watching, say hi in the chat. Let me know you're here, and so we can have we can do a little rapping. Let me get, here is the Discord. You guys will see that pop in from time to time in the chat. The bot will put it in there automatically. But I want to make sure I get this pulled up as well. Let me post something in there, actually. Where is it? Cisco Live. So, I expect that we're going to hear a lot about 5G today. I think that's going to be the lion's share, and 5G, what it enables. It enables AI in the palm of your hand. It enables all kinds of stuff, right? When you remove the barriers of bandwidth, it tends to open up a lot of doors. Same way we ran into. So it's funny how technology has evolved. I can remember we sort of had a bottleneck around Y2K with hard drives, both capacity and speeds. And then we got over that, and then it turned into a processor war between basically Intel and AMD. And then it was the GPU wars of the 2010s, right? We got into the, again, AMD bought, ATI. So the Radeon card line came over to AMD, and then it was the NVIDIA versus AMD. Meanwhile, they had the CPU war going on. AMD came out and dropped the mic last summer about this time. It was right around July 4th, I remember it, with the new Ryzen's, 3rd gen Ryzen stuff and PCI 4, Gen 4. But don't count Intel out of the game just yet. The 10K series is legit. So where I was going with this was technology for the last 20 years has seemed to be what bottleneck we want to get out of the way next. And it feels like we've got CPUs, hard drives, and GPUs mostly solved. Now it's about bandwidth and throughput. This new era of cloud computing, all kinds of stuff like that, and mobile devices. How do we put all of that power of the cloud into a mobile device? How do we deliver it to a mobile device? Well, 5G is one of those ways. So I fully expect today is going to be a lot about, there's certainly going to be a hardware chats, SD-WAN, cloud connected, all kinds of stuff like that throughout the next 48 hours with Cisco. But I expect the big thing Chuck is going to come out and talk about today is the interconnected 5G. That's my big one. That's my big prediction. What do you guys think? What are you looking forward to hearing about from Cisco today? I've got a new Cisco SG350 I've got to configure. We're going to do that on stream tomorrow. Hopefully I don't take the stream down in the process. That's always the tricky part, doing a live stream when you're trying to do it and showcase configuring gear. What happens if I hit the wrong command or typo something and it takes the whole network down and the stream just goes kaput? 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. Let me get the last couple of little things set up here. And it looks like we might be switching over. Nope, one more little commercial there. But yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think is going to be the big announcement today. Hopefully we get some announcements today. Unlike yesterday. Awkward. Here's hundreds, if not thousands of people tuned in. And they really didn't say much. They didn't have much to announce. I think Cisco is about to come out, and they've been quiet the last few years. I think now that we've got 5G, it's time for Cisco to get loud again. So watch out for that. Morning, Greg. Thank you for tuning in, man. All right, I'm going to kick it over to this other screen. Are we starting? I think we're starting. Here we go. Let me get this last little bit set up here. All right. Enjoy the show, guys. I'll be right here with some commentary. So here we go, Cisco Live 2020.
And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cisco Live Digital 2020, wherever you happen to be tuning in from all across the country, all around the world. We are so glad to have you with us for this exciting, unique, global digital event. We have got an amazing 2 days ahead of all of us, our entire team here at Cisco. We are so excited. Registration numbers have been through the roof. Over 120,000 of you have registered from 201 countries and territories across all 50 of our United States. It's really amazing. This show is about you, about our global Cisco Live community, coming together to explore how technology can help to solve the world's problems. And I am telling you, we have never needed that community more than we need it today. We have got such a great role to play in advancing society and driving toward a more inclusive world. So inclusion, diversity, collaboration, technology, these are fundamentals of Cisco to who we are as a company, to how we're creating the best teams in the world, and how together we are going to succeed in this age of digital transformation. I'm Steve Moulter. I'm coming to you live from Chicago, and joining me here on the Possibilities channel is my fabulous friend, my colleague, my fellow host coming to us live from London. It's Nish Parker. Hey there, Nish.
Hey Steve, thank you so much. Really excited to be here for Cisco Live Digital 2020. And
yeah, Jason, definitely already better than yesterday.
The brightest IT heroes, thought leaders, disruptors and visionaries to help us imagine the possibilities right here along with you and I. So Steve and I are going to be your hosts here on the Possibilities channel for the next 2 days. Right, Steve?
That's exactly right. You know, Cisco created this event more than 30 years ago, which is quite amazing. Here in 2020, though, we have reimagined everything so we can bring you this fantastic digital platform with more attendees than ever, as I was just saying. It's amazing, isn't it, Nish?
Truly. And actually, more than half of you that are tuning in here today are brand new to Cisco Live. So we love making new friends here in the Cisco Live community. We're so glad you're here, but we want to make sure that we hear from you. So if you haven't yet downloaded the Cisco Events mobile app, make sure you do that right now on your phone. That's where you can watch sessions, you can check out interactive features, you can ask questions, live Q&A with some of the speakers, play games, and even see your personalized schedule. So also get on social media and use hashtag Cisco Live today, tomorrow, and beyond. Right, Steve?
That's exactly right. All right, let's talk about the platform a little bit. It's all about opportunity. So you can check out those colorful buttons over there on the side of your screen. You have got 4 channels to choose from across these 2 broadcast days. Right now, as I said, we are talking to you on the Possibilities channel. So this is where business, industry leaders, along with IT pros, global citizens, are all coming together to improve the world. Nish and I will feature Cisco executive keynotes coming up in just a moment, industry change makers, celebrity interviews. We've got superstar musical guests. We're going to have a great time here on Possibilities. Over on the Innovation channel, you've got our fellow host, Stephanie Chan and Reggie Liget. They're going to look at IT solutions and strategies that are really essential to today's businesses. You will also find our innovation talks, our product and strategy overviews, awesome demos. These all prove how empowered IT is making innovation happen. All right, so Nish, what are we going to find on the other 2 channels?
Yeah, I mean, all the stuff that you just shared there is really exciting, but we do have 2 more channels. So over on IT Heroes, we have our very own Rob Boyd and Annie Murphy hosting there, and that's designed for our most technical audience, so tune in there if that's the type of content you're looking for. And then on our last channel, IT Leadership, we have David Dela Cruz and Bram van Spandoik. They're going to be introducing us to business acumen and technological expertise to create your own strategies and actionable ideas for success. Super exciting, right?
Indeed, and we are 35 seconds right now from going live to Chuck Robbins, our Cisco chairman and CEO, along with G. Rittenhouse, our senior VP GM Security Business, and Javed Khan, our VP GM of Collaboration, who are going to kick us off with the opening keynote, always the good drive into Cisco Live, talking about Cisco's vision for the future, the innovations that we have around remote work and secure business, everything shaping our industry and our new digital world. We'll run this on all 4 channels. The keynote's going to take about an hour, and then we'll see you back on whichever channel you prefer. Thank you again for being with us. And right now we go live to Building 9 and Chuck Robbins.
App looks pretty cool. Well done.
When the chips are up, when the chips are down, ingenuity.
Ariel, I love the
finds a way.
piece from CNCF on your doing your
It
profile.
strikes. The idea.
Good stuff,
The
man.
spark is lit. The path to possibilities.
Show me what's possible.
Ingenuity is fueled by need. It's fueled by hope. It sharpens our priorities. It taps into our grit. It reimagines today and creates tomorrow. It's possible when we work together. Even when the world seems to have stopped, we say we're just getting started. Empowering IT, securing business, connecting people. From the basement, the boardroom, and the living room couch, ingenuity finds a way. I have an idea.
J'ai une idée.
Mere posso escuchar, hey.
Ich habe eine Idee.
Yo tengo una idea.
I have an idea.
It starts with IT. It starts with possibilities.
Well, finally, here we are with Cisco Live. This is absolutely my favorite event of the year, and there is nowhere that I would rather be than not here right now. I would much rather be with all of you doing this in person, but we're unable to do that for obvious reasons, and we're still thrilled to spend time with you. We got a great couple of days ahead where we're going to talk about what we love most, our technology. And I just want to start by saying thank you. We are so grateful that you all have decided to spend your time with us over the next few days, and I hope you'll find it incredibly, incredibly valuable. 2020 has been a difficult and challenging year. You know, we started out with a new decade with hope, and we never imagined that in June we would have experienced what we've experienced this year. The pandemic that we started the year with, the fundamental change to business and how we work, and the daunting tasks that particularly all of you and we were faced with by getting all of our constituents up and running and productive in a different world, working from home. Then we faced the unfortunate deaths of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, and even this weekend, Rayshard Brooks. And it reminds us of the need for dignity, respect, fairness, and equality in all of our societies around the world. And while 2020 has brought a lot of pain, a lot of sadness, and a lot of anger, I do believe that we can take the setbacks and turn them into progress. We can take the challenges, turn them into opportunity, and take some of the hate that we see in the world and turn it into hope. Because we believe in what's possible. And we're here this week to talk about that, possibilities. But we still face extraordinary challenges. Some of the challenges we face are the same ones we faced 6 months ago. Some of those have been accelerated. And we have new challenges that we're all dealing with on a daily basis. We're all still focused on simplification and automation, issues of privacy, issues of security. And at the same time, we've had to deal with remote work, productivity of our teams, collaboration of our teams. 75% of the organizations around the world said that they've had a disruption in their supply chain, which I know we experienced and many of you did. Our employees
Still waiting on my cam
are
links.
facing incredible anxiety and very difficult circumstances. 73% of adults right now say that they're feeling some level of anxiety or struggling with mental health issues. The economy's in shambles. Our healthcare systems are under stress. And in the midst of all of this, we all had to act very quickly, and we did. Let's take a look.
Once there was a world shattered into 7 billion separate worlds, starting with a virus named COVID. Isolated and alone, the 7 billion looked for ways they could continue to teach each other and heal each other. Ways their leaders could lead and their scientists could science up a solution to the virus. And just like that, we came forward and not only connected these worlds together, but worked to make sure that those with no place to shelter found shelter, and those who were hungry got nourished. We gave away our technology for free, and many of us got busy making masks to keep first responders safe. See a crisis, take a stand, get into action. It's what we do because it's the right thing to do. And with progress, with compassion, we'll see all 7 billion worlds come back together as one.
Get what they're trying to do, but I'm not sure I like the idea of making a light, fun, upbeat video about
As
half
we
a million
entered into
people
this
dying.
pandemic, we made a decision that we were going to focus and only focus on our employees, our customers, partners, and our communities. And these were the only things that mattered to us. We, like many of you, were focused on getting our employees up and running at home, working from home, being productive. We began a series of weekly check-ins, like I've heard many of you tell us that you're doing the same thing, where we actually come together with all of our employees every week over video. We have guest speakers, we have medical experts, we have mental health experts, and we talk about the issues that are going on either with the pandemic or most recently around this inequality and racial justice issue that we have in our country in the U.S. And providing support for all of our employees as they struggle with the scenario that they're all facing right now. We also said we're going to focus on our customers, and we worked so hard. And our partners that are here today, we worked together to get our customers up and running. We delivered free offers into the marketplace in collaboration and security to make sure that everyone had the tools that they needed to actually execute during this challenging time. We came out with new bundles around teleworker, mobile health care, pop-up branches, and we put $2.5 billion into the marketplace for business resiliency, helping many of our customers who may be facing short-term liquidity challenges actually defer payments on needed technology until January of next year. And in our communities, much like many of you, the business community, I think, has responded incredibly well. Tremendous financial support. Our teams, like many companies, found a way to 3D print surgical masks for healthcare workers. We found a way to buy N95 masks around the world and deliver those to healthcare systems across the United States. Our teams were creative, and they said, we have DX80s, video units sitting on our desks in our office not being used. And our teams all around the world took them and shipped them to hospitals so that they could be used to do remote patient intake so as not to have to be in proximity to those that might be sick, and also to allow families to communicate with sick patients, unfortunately, sometimes in their dying moments. But it was a phenomenal show of support from all the communities around the world. I know Cisco now is roughly $500 million that we've contributed to this response. And as the world runs on our stuff and it runs on what you do every day, we are more committed than ever to getting through the current challenges that we see. And all of you were incredible. The speed and the scale that all of us have delivered together. I'm incredibly grateful for the work that we've done, the work that you've done to support the heroes of the last 6 months, the frontline workers, the healthcare workers, the first responders, those that are delivering food and groceries to the elderly or sick. I'm proud of our teams that have scaled Webex and our VPN and the work that was done in our supply chain at a time of crisis in the supply chain, of getting you the technology that you needed. But I'm also so impressed with what you did, what all of you did for your organizations. I've talked to so many of my peers, your CEOs.
Renato, welcome.
And they have said, I cannot believe what our IT organizations have accomplished. They say, if anybody had told me in January that I'd have 98% of my company working remotely in March and we'd be doing just fine, I wouldn't have believed it. And that's because of what you all have done. It's the hard work and the overnight execution that you delivered. We have examples like Luis University in Italy that took 7,500 students in 48 hours from in-person to online, and that story is told all around the world. We have the Center for Addiction and Mental Health in Canada, where we leveraged the video technology to deliver 1,500 more remote therapy sessions for those who are suffering from mental health and weren't close to or couldn't get to doctors. Or customers like MetLife, who talked about how important the investments that they had made and the work that we had done together over the prior 5 or 6 years positioned them to make this transition much more smoothly than they would have been able to otherwise. What you have done is absolutely extraordinary. For those of you in the healthcare industry, the work that you've put in to help your employees deliver the healthcare that we all need in this world has just been astonishing. And I want to thank you for that, for delivering those digital connections and for doing all that you've done. And it is impressive. Let's take a look.
Among the 7 billion worlds this virus has created are some mighty superheroes. Some are easy to spot, others not so much. But that doesn't mean they're not important, just in a different way. Of course, I'm talking about you. Why, if it wasn't for IT, there's no telling where we'd be right now. No telling how a company like Honeywell could scale its remote users from 35,000 to 100,000 in a matter of days. Or how Luis University rolled out distance learning, 500 classes in just 48 hours. To say nothing for how a network is keeping the world informed from Anderson Cooper's living room. And if that isn't mighty impressive, there are thousands of other examples.
Yeah, they park a satellite truck outside his house.
Knowing that while this pandemic won't last forever, the connections we're making together will.
You truly are powering this new world that we live in. Your organizations are relying on you and relying on us more than they ever have, which is frankly hard for me to fathom. What we do now matters more than ever. If you think back over the last few years, we talked a lot about how, technology and IT, from the days I started in it, has moved from the basement to the boardroom. And just think about the importance right now of everything that you do. I saw a survey this morning that said 75% of the companies in the United States will accelerate their technology transformation as a result of what's just happened. And that's because they believe in the importance of what you and what we do every day. And we will continue to build the right technology, continue to deliver the capacity so that you can connect, secure, and empower all of your organization and continue to drive productivity and communicate with your customers, your partners, and your employees effectively as we move forward. And last year we talked about how would we do that.
That means, yes, even though you
we talked about these 4 pillars of our strategy. 1, to empower your applications. These are the lifeline of your business. And we have so many capabilities to help you understand the performance of those applications. The recent acquisition of Thousand Eyes continues to help add more capabilities there. But really, we believe that during this time, these 4 pillars are actually more important now in light of what has transpired than they even were a year ago.
That's a good point.
And focusing on your applications as you continue to accelerate the move to cloud architected apps.
The world is forever changed, guys, from this point forward.
Security.
There's no going back, really.
I had a customer a few years ago say, I appreciate you securing my network, but what I really care about is my data. And this is about technology, but it's also about trust. And we have worked hard to build a level of trust with all of you between our teams as well as with our technology, and we're going to continue to do that. Transforming your infrastructure. I think this is the opportunity. This is the time. I've had so many of the CEOs that I've talked to, as I mentioned earlier, who have said, it's time for us now to actually build out a more robust technology infrastructure and architecture to prepare for whatever comes next, because we don't know what's going to come next. Because we never expected what's happened in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So we have permission, and many of you have told me now's the time. You have the air cover, you have the ability to actually go tackle some of the architectural debt that we have in our organizations. Because it's working, and it has worked. But we know that for the future, we need to move forward in different aspects of the technology. And we're going to talk a lot about that over the next couple days as well. And I think when we launched these pillars, empowering your teams, I think many people looked at that and said, well, that's just a way for you to bring your collaboration portfolio into your strategy. And that's actually, I think we've all learned over the last 6 months, it's much broader than that. This is so important. And now we've learned new ways. We have people and companies and processes around the world that have changed. And what we know is possible now versus what we believed 6 months ago will fundamentally change how we think about work for the future. Period.
Yep.
Right? We will probably travel less. We will do more meetings this way. We will talk to our customers more effectively this way. We'll build richer interactions. We have contact center agents that will not go back to a central site. They will work wherever they are. And so continuing to deliver the technology to allow your teams to feel empowered in their communications with each other, with their partners, with their suppliers, with their customers, with everyone is something that we remain very committed to, and you're going to hear Javed talk about that a little bit later. And
most important thing said yet. All that stuff's
with the
about
best
to change,
customer experience
or stay the way it is
in mind.
Evolve.
Right? We hired Maria Martinez 2 years ago to build out the most robust customer experience strategy for the company. It's not an organization. It's deeply ingrained in how we operate and how we want to operate to deliver these solutions to you. And as I think about your opportunity, I've talked a little bit about the infrastructure. I think it's time to be ready. It's time for us to think about how does our wide area network architecture really need to change based on these incredibly different traffic flows that we see today versus the way they were when we architected this infrastructure 15 to 20 years ago. How can we deploy automation more rapidly? How can we get to cloud-managed networks more rapidly? How can I modernize everything so that whatever comes next, I'm ready. We're ready. And I think many of you, if your company's not dead in the epicenter of this crisis, many of you have that opportunity right now, and you have permission. From a skills perspective, we have all learned so much in the last 6 months. I've learned a lot. I've joked with my team, nobody taught me about how to deal with a pandemic when I became CEO. We had to figure it out. Right? And just like that, every industry is changing to some extent, some very radically. And you have the opportunity to learn new skills and to understand about the new capabilities that will help you navigate these new opportunities more effectively. Healthcare is going to change forever. And that's why we have so much education this week, how your roles may evolve, the great work that Susie Wee and the team continue to do with DevNet, the automation and programmability that's being built into everything that we sell, and what that opens up for you, and in the future, what that's going to open up to for the application developer are all areas that we need to understand better. And during challenging times, it's where innovation comes. Because when you're in need, we're trying to solve problems. And we want to use this as our opportunity.
Made a note on that one, Greg. I definitely want to talk about that.
Are problem solvers at heart. And we've certainly been given some big problems to solve recently.
That's a big conversation.
So I am so optimistic that we're going to come out of this and we're going to continue to innovate and deliver the technology that you need. And we're going to do this together because you're going to have great ideas on what you'd like to see us do. And your experience, as I was saying, with Cisco matters more than ever. I think so many of you, when we went into this pandemic, so many of you said, I need to work with the partners that I trust the most. And you looked to us, and I think our team's delivered. And we want that to continue. So we've been working on offers, and we've announced some of them today that are going to help you continue to navigate this world. Whether it's a suite of offers for small business who have been so incredibly hard hit by this crisis, or this business resiliency next normal offers that we launched today to allow you to maintain this seamless, secure productivity. Industry solutions, whether it's in healthcare or higher education, or actually delivering video solutions into correctional institutes or into nursing homes to allow people to visit with their families more effectively. These are all solutions that are being built. Solutions around secure remote workforce. I talked about this remote contact center. How do we integrate and deliver solutions that allow them to be more effective wherever they are? Flexible remote access, secure remote workers. And then as we begin to go back to the office, which we know everybody's thinking about, different stages, different times, I get it. Countries around the world are going to be different. In the United States, states and counties are even different. So we're all navigating the same thing together. And as you go back, you're going to want these trusted workplace solutions. Things like social distancing, monitoring, and insights. We actually have the ability to help let you know when your employees or your organization has people that are spending too much time in too close proximity in the spirit of the social distancing that needs to occur right now. We even have partners that we can actually send alerts to a badge that says you've been too close for a while, if that's what you'd like to do. There are so many of these, remote office connectivity. And then we've extended the business critical services that so many of you have been dependent on. Marie and the team have added machine learning, artificial intelligence to continue to deliver the next wave
launched their
of
app
those
this
solutions
morning,
for you.
apparently.
And then the innovation that you're going to hear about that we all love. Today, tomorrow, today you're going to hear from G. Rittenhouse and Javed Khan on security and collaboration because they are so pertinent to what we're doing right now. You're going to hear from all our teams. In collaboration, Javed's going to talk to you about a Webex Assistant, and how that's integrated, Webex Control Hub, how you manage your organization and all the data and analytics that are being driven through your global architecture of Webex, as well as the new Desk Pro solution, which I actually love and I'm using myself right now. G's talked about SecureX in the past. It's generally available now, and he's going to talk about what it means to have a central cloud-delivered portal for managing all your security risk and getting all of the insights from the security tools that you use from us. Great enterprise networking innovation and the Nexus portfolio, Meraki, the combination of SD-WAN and our cloud security to help you navigate this transition to applications being basically everywhere. SaaS applications, public cloud, private cloud, and the integration of that technology helps you securely connect to those applications. In the mass scale infrastructure space, Jonathan, the technology that we announced in December, you'll continue to get updates on our Cisco Silicon One architecture, our Cisco Crosswork Cloud, and the 8000 series, which is such a robust architecture that'll power 5G networks of the future. And then in applications, technologies like the integration of AppD and Cisco Intersight to help you deliver and understand the performance of these cloud-first applications that you continue to build. And we see so many possibilities right now. We are focused on investing and building the best technology for you going forward. There's so much uncertainty. I get that. But there's also unforeseen possibilities. And being the ultimate optimist, I think we have the opportunity to make tomorrow better in this post-pandemic world. At Cisco, what we've been trying to do is stop and reflect and see what we can learn about what's going on. And then how do we operate during this phase of recovery? And then as we look to the future, like many of you, how do we reimagine what we do? How do we take the best of the past, combined with today, combined with our imaginations to deliver what we need in the future? This is what we're all spending time thinking about right now, and this is our opportunity. And as we have been spending the last 6 to 9 months together as a team, my team, we've been thinking a lot about the purpose of an organization. And for almost 20 plus years, Cisco has had a purpose statement that talks about changing the way the world lives, works, learns, and plays. And we feel like we've done that. And so as we spent the last 6 months, we came up with a new purpose statement that I think you're going to find to be very pertinent to what's going on in the world today. This is 6 months ago. We decided that our purpose as an organization is to power an inclusive future for all. Think about that in the context of what's happening in today's world. I think it's so pertinent. Our technology, this is obviously a combination of the technology that allows us to do this and our commitment to our communities and social responsibility that allow us to do this. From a technology perspective, think about what we do when we connect the unconnected. We connect those people in remote villages in emerging countries, and we can then deliver health care, we can deliver education, and we can provide them opportunities. We've all heard the stories. I think we showed a video at one of our events of a woman in a remote village in India who had been connected and was able and learned how to actually take her business that was selling goods locally and actually expand to sell them over the internet and expand her audience. I mean, these are things that change lives. And that really does provide inclusive opportunity for everybody, because it is opportunity that we have to deliver. And we also focus on our communities. We've always focused on our communities. And as we entered this crisis, we put together a framework. How will we respond to what's going on right now? And we really put it into 4 categories. We said that first and foremost, we have to focus on the most vulnerable in our communities. These are those who are most impacted. These are the homeless. These are the people living paycheck to paycheck. These are the people that when, they're the restaurant workers, all those people that aren't going to be able to get food, aren't going to be able to pay their rent. How do we focus on the most vulnerable? That's what we focused on first. Then we focused on families and community, opening up like our daycare centers to the children of first-line health workers. Then research and resilience. How do we find cures in this particular situation? And then strategic recovery in the future. How do we work with industry to define the architectures that are going to be required for how we're going to do things in the future, like healthcare or higher education? And this is a first step, but this is a framework that we think we can use in the future anytime we're responding to something that happens in our community. And it's the first step. It's the opportunity for us to engage together. And I think we have an opportunity. Let's take a look.
As we stay apart, we think about those with few resources available to them. You see, until now, we've always strived to help, especially in our own community. But this is different. This is global. And so we're calling for more companies to come forward and support our long-standing work with partners like Equal Justice Initiative, Feeding America, and Mercy Corps to fight racism, feed the hungry, and provide humanitarian relief around the world. We call this initiative Next Horizon, because it's the next step in our vision of a more inclusive future. And although this virus is disruptive, it's also a reminder that within us lies the capacity to change lives, which is why we invite all of you to come forward too, so that together we can build the bridge between 1 and all 7 billion.
No matter how powerful any one organization is on their own, we're more powerful and more impactful if we come together. So I would encourage you to all check it out at cisco.com/go/nexthorizon. I think we can deliver greater scale, greater impact. Almost 100% of the CIOs that we surveyed said that they're driven by a purpose that's aligned to doing good. And I think this is going to become more and more important to organizations and companies in the future. 4 years ago at Cisco Live, we set a goal to positively impact 1 billion people by 2025. I need to give you an update every year. And I'm going to give you a number that's actually 11 months old at this point. So it's going to be much higher in about 45 days when we get the new data. But 11 months ago, we were 47% of the way there already at 469 million people. And my guess is, in light of everything that's transpired, there'll be a huge jump when we see the number. So thank you for your help and participation. And we're going to continue to try to do our part globally. This is what inspires me. I take incredible
Paula,
pride
welcome to the channel. Thanks for subscribing.
in what we're doing, not only in the technology space, but particularly in our communities, and particularly right now, and I hope you'll decide to join us. As we built our purpose, we also said we wanted to do something we'd never done before. We wanted to actually publish our commitment to you. We have been together, working together for over 35 years. Not all of us, but companies and organizations. And we've developed this deep sense of partnership, this deep sense of trust. I think we've developed a commitment to you. We're always here to support you. We proved that hopefully in March as so many of you transitioned to home. Trust is so important, especially now. And I believe in hope. I think we're going to see everybody come together. We're going to unite together. We're going to tackle the challenges, some big ones, some small ones. And I do believe that together we are truly going to power a more inclusive world. I can't thank you enough for spending time with us this week. It really is, it means a lot to us that you're willing to spend your time listening to what we have to say and learning about the technology and learning about everything this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I'd like to connect you with one of our leaders who has done yeoman's work over the last few months. The Webex platform in particular, not to mention the rest of the collaboration portfolio, is running today, I think, better than it ran in January at 3 to 4 times the volume. And that's because of the work that this individual and his team did. And he's going to talk a lot about what we've done and what we're going to do to continue to deliver the next generation of capabilities in this space. I'm going to turn it over to Javed Khan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chuck. It's actually a team effort. I'm glad you all joined us for this virtual event. I'm coming to you live from San Jose. As Chuck mentioned, at Cisco, we have the unique opportunity to use our collaboration technology and our amazing people to help power an inclusive future for all. That is why at times like this, I could not be more proud to be a Cisco employee. Now, I'm sure there is one thing we can all agree on, that there is no playbook that could have prepared us for 2020. It's been an extraordinary year, and we're only halfway through it. Now, we thought we knew everything that was possible with our collaboration technology, but what happened in March changed everything. 12 weeks later, we are on the other side of the most amazing work-from-home experiment the world has ever seen. Never in our wildest dreams did we imagine having to build a product that would need to support the entire business world at the same time, instantly. Now, I've talked to many of you, and you had the incredible job of keeping your businesses open while keeping your employees safe. Let's hear firsthand from some of you and the challenges you faced.
I can't even begin to tell you what it has done to the psyche of our community for kids and teachers and parents to see each other.
Our volunteer pool dropped literally in half.
How do we make them feel included that we've got this? Because we have a workforce that predominantly, some of them hadn't worked from home before. Contact centers hadn't worked from home.
We are able to transition all of our 25,000 employees, even our board of directors conversation on Webex Cloud Platform.
Our town halls are now all held virtually. Our designers, all of our creative people, they're still working face-to-face using Webex.
Each shift has its own Webex portal. A lot of those volunteers are back and willing to save lives and willing to do what we always have been doing, which is to be the emotional support of San Francisco.
It has been just incredible and such a lifesaver right now.
That video reminds me of so many conversations I've had, right? It feels almost like yesterday. When shelter-in-place began, Cisco was already the leading collaboration provider in the planet, with half the world's video traffic running on our network. But by April, we would hit 25 billion meeting minutes. That's three times the size of our normal monthly average. Now, I know some of our competitors' products, they are used for leisurely activities like yoga and happy hour. And hey, I'm all for happy hour too. But when it comes to business meetings, learning
this is what I was going to talk about, Greg.
Doctor's appointments, government hearings, those need safeguarding. We made sure that over 500 million meeting participants were able to do so securely.
Yeah, that was nice.
Now, security has to be core to who you are as a company. It is not something that can be bolted on top as an afterthought. Cisco Webex has always been the most secure, the most reliable, and the most trusted platform in the world.
Javed getting
Webex
the digs in.
Are secure by default with strong passwords. So your messages, your files, your whiteboards, your actions, they're always safe, end-to-end safe, even if you're using the free version of our product. That is why I'm pleased to announce that this week we are extending our compliance solutions, including data loss prevention, retention and legal hold, e-discovery, to Webex meetings.
Nice.
Yet another industry-first security offering from Webex.
Get him, Javed.
Now, we hope that together we've made it through the worst of the pandemic and some of the challenges that come with staying connected. So what's next? Now, for many of us, we expect that extended levels of work from home will continue. For me, one of the perks of working from home has been that I get to spend a lot of time with my family and my 9-year-old daughter, right? She actually leaves me these little sticky notes outside my door, which at the end of a long day just brightens up my day.
Oh.
And actually, there was one that she just left me yesterday, which said, Dad, do your best presentation. Fantastic advice from my 9-year-old. But on a more serious note, as we move forward, working from home and the office, there's 3 things to consider. First, your employees' experiences. Second, the evolution of the workspace. And finally, your customers' experiences. Let's start by talking about your employees' experiences. Over the last few months, we've seen video usage take off like never before, 3.5 times more to be precise. And that's exciting because you've got Webex Meetings, the world leader when it comes to real-time video. But being productive is about so much more than meetings. It's about sharing documents and files and plans and ideas, not just during a meeting, but before a meeting and after a meeting. That is how real work gets done. But we've got you covered there too. Our unified Webex app that we launched last year does all of that. We've brought together our modern meetings experience alongside calling, file sharing, messaging, all in one simple, easy-to-use app. And as you saw from the video earlier, it has been a lifesaver for companies like Under Armour. They've been able to keep their employees connected and productive, seamlessly moving between tasks.
So is Webex going after Teams?
Forward. But that's not all. Our brilliant engineering team, they keep innovating. I am so pleased to announce that Webex will now include your own personal digital assistant. Let's take a look.
Right, let's get underway. I'll start recording so Webex Assistant can send us the highlights.
Note that our share value is 47, up 3 points, and I want to increase that by 15%.
Great, Louise. Okay, Webex, highlight that. Okay, Webex, action item to define KPIs. Next steps, new task to track Richard's progress, and the final action item will be to review the marketing plan.
Interesting that Zoom got all the hype the last 90 days.
I think that's
it's because it was a free product for families to continue. That's my take. Webex is doing all the healthcare, news broadcasts, government work, secure, right? The proliferation of it was its ultimately what could be its downfall, in my opinion. Webex was doing 5 times the work that nobody ever saw while everybody was hanging out on happy hours on Zoom.
Your assistant is trained to automatically take notes and action items, making meetings and follow-ups easier than ever before. Now, just like any other collaborative team member, the Webex app works well with others too. It seamlessly integrates with all the other apps you use, like Microsoft, Google, Salesforce, and many, many more. Let's take a look at one of the integrations that I use often, ServiceNow.
Oh, this is fun.
And if you are one of those millions of Call Manager users, we've got good news for you too. The Webex app connects directly to Call Manager, making it easy to add meetings, messaging, and all the other cloud-based innovation with no additional deployment cost to you. To deliver these amazing collaboration experiences, your IT administrator has Cisco Webex Control Hub. This single pane of glass gives you intelligent and actionable insights for your meetings, your phone calls, your devices, whether your employees are working from the home or from the office. The powerful command center helps you proactively deliver amazing video experiences. You can even monitor live meetings and get notified if your VIPs are having issues. So you can call them up and say, hey, it's the kids playing video games who are sucking up all the bandwidth.
What's wrong with that?
Now let's talk about your workspaces. We all know that these will undergo a sea change. Video collaboration has become the new norm, and employees are going to expect rich video experiences in all of their workspaces, all the way from the boardroom to the desktop at home. That is why when you combine Webex meetings with our award-winning devices portfolio, you get the gold standard in video collaboration. In fact, we've seen a surge in demand for devices, including desktop video units, boards, and even headsets. And we've just upped the game with our latest Red Dot winner. Let's meet the Webex Desk Pro, your new instant office.
I could see a point where we issue these with laptops in the future to employees. Like I said, things are inevitably going to change from this point forward. You've got to have something in addition to the laptop we're working on to work with. It's a better camera, better microphone, all of that. Look at this. That's fantastic. I want one already. You're not going to do this on a 13-inch MacBook. Man, Cisco's really going after Microsoft.
Aren't these beautiful? They've been flying off the shelves.
I didn't expect
that. And now you
that.
can own this experience with a new way to buy. Our Hardware as a Service program can help you manage the costs of upgrading your devices at home and the office by converting what used to be a CapEx expense into an OpEx one, making it affordable for everyone. Finally, let's talk about your customers' experiences. Though the pandemic changed the way we do business, it has never been more important for your customers to be able to reach you and get answers to their questions quickly. We've helped our contact center customers transition their agents to working from home using our cloud calling and our cloud contact center solutions. For example, we helped a local county health system almost instantly spin up a new contact center and set up a COVID hotline. The city of Buffalo turned to us when their existing provider was unable to transition their agents to working from home. We worked over the weekend and got them up and running from our cloud. Moving forward, we are doubling down on AI, adding even more intelligence into our contact center, converting customer support agents into super agents with all the right information at their fingertips, resolving issues faster than ever before.
Are they robots?
The end result has been improved customer satisfaction and improved customer loyalty. Now, we hope that some of the challenges we faced together earlier this year are behind us. While we may not know what the future holds, what we do know is that the way we work has changed forever. While the world learns to adapt, Webex will continue to innovate and deliver secure collaboration experiences that you depend on no matter what lies ahead. Cisco will always be here for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to wash your hands. Stay safe.
There are times for casual
well done,
meetings,
Java.
happy hour meetings, and formal meetings. But when it's time for important meetings, there's Webex. It's for the mission critical and the time sensitive, for the vital tasks and the task forces, the boardrooms, the war rooms, and the places strangers must never be. Webex is for sensitive data, your data, that can't be routed to unexpected places or sold to the highest bidder. It's for big things with huge impact and getting the little details exactly right. It's for moving forward together and getting the things that need to be done. Because when you're doing important work, your meetings, users, devices, and data should be secure. Security built in from the start, not bolted on. This is collaboration without compromise. Safe, private, and secure. Webex.
Speaking of security, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Security himself, G. Rittenhouse.
I love an aggressive, proactive Cisco. Coming out swinging. That was so good.
Thank you, Javed. Earlier this year, we announced a new approach to security, one that focuses on simplicity and automation. And at the time, we realized the potential of this to really transform the way we think about security. But what we didn't fully appreciate was just how important this would be to security and IT professionals like yourself at this very moment. We've been enjoying the benefits of working from anywhere at any time on any device, with many of you embracing this with 5, 10, 20% of your workforce working remotely. But this environment is relatively well known, static and deterministic. So when we think about securing it, we can use traditional approaches like firewalls and VPNs. Then the pandemic happened. And overnight, the system became dynamic. Your entire enterprise, hospital, school, had to work remotely. In addition to that, supply chains and business processes were completely disrupted. This environment is not static. It is highly dynamic. It is interesting how we're going to consider securing this, because in this dynamic environment, things will be very, very different. This requires a massive shift, one that focuses on simplicity and massive automation changes at a timescale that was previously thought to be impossible. The security industry is not known for being simple or automated. We grew up building products and services for one particular threat. And then as the number of threats increased, the number of products and solutions also increased.
I like where this
is going. Until today, many of you have 10, 50, 100 vendors in your ecosystem. Cisco realized this and has been working on this simplicity journey for quite some time. We have the broadest portfolio in the industry, and we coupled that portfolio together through our market-leading Talos research group, so that if we see an event anywhere in the world, we block it everywhere, in many cases in real time. But even this level of security is not enough. Introducing SecureX, the most comprehensive cloud-native platform in the industry. In one place, you can see your entire environment, threats and incidents, and resolve policy changes, all in one place. It is incredibly powerful and will really change the game. And you can see this with just a very simple example. Let's just walk through a typical day. You have a few devices on your network, and then a threat happens. You encounter thousands of threats every day in your enterprise. The key question is whether this threat is real or not. When you have all of these devices and solutions, some are saying that it's a threat, others are saying benign. Who do you trust? In Cisco, we look at billions of events every day. We evaluate 47 billion web requests, 200 billion DNS queries, 2 trillion email artifacts every single day. We know how to find a needle in a stack of needles. Then, of course, you have to determine which device. And if, in today's environment with work from home, there are more devices on the network than ever. You then isolate it and block it across your entire enterprise. But of course, this requires coordination between all these different appliances.
Yep.
It's a long and arduous process. Let's take a look at this again through the lens of the SecureX platform. Here's the platform as we saw before, but it's slightly different. In the lower left-hand corner, there's a pop-up window. Let's zoom in on that.
That's the other
What
left.
we see is that we've found a legitimate threat, and SecureX has already prioritized that for you. But in addition, it's automatically generated a workflow, and it's assigned it, in this case, to me. So let's get to work and click on it and see what happens in this event. When we do, SecureX transforms itself into a relationship graph. Everything that you need to know about that incident, all in one place. Where's the threat? We can zoom in on that, and we realize that it's a piece of malware that connected to a suspicious domain that was resolved by this IP address and connected into this endpoint.
That's cool.
All in one place, all in one seamless experience. Then, of course,
Universal
to block
control
it, we
plane.
right-click on the endpoint. We block it, and then we can
You're gonna hear
push
more and
that
more of
across
those
the
over the
entire
next 3 to 5
enterprise,
years, in my
blocking
opinion.
it everywhere with our umbrella portfolio. It's 2 clicks, just a few minutes. It's really, really quite remarkable to see. And we're super excited to announce that this is going to be available at the end of this month. It has the power to change everything. It has the power to change your experience. And to get a sense of this, let's hear it from one of our customers.
My name is Michael, and I work for Mohawk Industries as an infrastructure consultant with a focus on security. I'm working from Belgium here in Europe, and I'm responsible for the EMEA and ASPAC regions. We are a manufacturer of residential and commercial flooring, and we are producing flooring in 18 different countries and sell them in more than 180 countries all over the world. In the beginning, I was responsible for endpoint security on workstations and servers, but since then much has changed. This is due to the massive digital transformations every business goes through in the last few years and in the years that are coming to us. More and more of our systems are in the cloud. We have more remote workers working from home, especially now with the ongoing pandemic. Or we just have more systems that we need to protect and manage, like tablets, mobile devices, or the personal devices of our users. Before, I had to connect the dots myself together with the abnormal behavior I encountered on my endpoints, requesting such information from the other team members as well. This all resulted in a lot of time that we've lost and that we would like to spend in a better way. Here at Mohawk, we really believe in the security approach from Cisco, because Cisco connects all the dots together with you. It gives you the right information during the investigation to handle your
Did I see
threats,
a giant
to be
Cisco
able to react
TV
to
on the
them
wall?
as quickly as possible.
Like the Surface
Since
TV?
everything is also connected,
They didn't talk
it's
about
so
that.
fast to block unwanted behavior or activity.
Call of
and have
Duty
it
back
blocked
there in the
across
background.
different
Nice.
security solutions from Cisco. Working with Cisco, we've been seeing a lot of faster remediations of our incidents and detected threats. That's really great, and I think that a platform approach like SecureX is the future of security here at Mohawk Industries. It will make things easier, faster, and we will see much more going on in our environments than ever before. Especially the automation and the custom playbooks in SecureX will make the difference in a zero-trust environment and improve the security of our company even further. And that's not all, even the integration and the possibilities we have with the third-party solutions, this will only strengthen this furthermore. So I'm really looking forward to what SecureX will bring to us.
Simple and automated. Security for today's dynamic environment. But because of this focus, there's additional benefits. Because the entire system is integrated together and open so you can bring in appliances for yourself, you have faster time to savings. Because of the automation and the workflows, you reduce your cost. And then finally, because you can turn on services very easily, in some cases as little as 15 minutes, you have faster time to value. Today's dynamic environment is the new normal. When we survey CFOs, 75% of them say that there will be more remote access post-COVID-19 than before. We need a security platform, and SecureX is that platform to secure what's now and what's next.
It's a lot of like what we've been working on with Fabric Orchestrator, what's upcoming with Project Astra. It's just the universal control plane taking all of your products and consolidating them all together.
Talk later on, where you can hear firsthand more detail about the benefits that you'll get with SecureX. And with that, I'd like to thank you very much. This concludes our day one keynote, and I'll turn it back to our hosts.
Well, let's see if the hosts have anything interesting to say, but I definitely do, so hang tight, guys. Don't run off just yet. Oh, okay. So they are going to be done there. Great. Cool. Next time to weigh in. Oh, yes. We got some stuff to talk about. Let me get a little music going here for us, and we can hang out for a bit. So first of all, thanks to everybody for joining today. I want to get that out there. I got a bunch of notes to go over. Long time. So to preface this, there was a time in my career in the late 90s where I thought I wanted to be a CCIE, that was going to be my path. So that I'm saying all of this because of the last 20 years, I somehow got swerved into being a systems server data center engineer and then ultimately landing at NetApp and doing storage and virtualization and things like that. But there's the very beginnings where, I've always been I had a CCIE lab in my house in 2000, 2001. One of the biggest projects I ever worked on was a very large financial institution lighting their own dark fiber around the country. So I've done a lot with Cisco. So I'm a big fan of Cisco. That said, the overwhelming thing that stood out today was Chuck Robbins basically planting a flag and taking a stance, completely overhauling Cisco's mission statement. What did they call it? Their purpose statement that hasn't been touched for 20 years, calling it Next Horizon. I threw a link in the chat there if you guys are interested in reading about that, but I believe it's cisco.com/go/Next Horizon. Talking about being more of an inclusive society of technologists, bringing connectivity to the remote worlds, the remote parts of the world. And I guess part of me is going, all right, well, Facebook has also kind of promised that as well. We've seen third-party private companies leveraging SpaceX's delivery vehicles to put satellites into orbit. I hear and see all of that promise and execution happening, but where's the delivery of the service? There's a sailboat YouTube channel that I follow called SV Sailing Vessel Delos, and it's a former technologist out of Seattle, software developer, who has been sailing and living off the grid for 10 years now. He can live stream 1080p from his sailboat from the middle of the Pacific. So there's no more excuses anymore about the technology, availability of technology of connecting this. So I, for one, took it really personal and love that the CEO of Cisco is out there saying we're going to connect to the rest of the world. I've heard a lot of lip service over the last 10 years from various places, but they seem to really be wanting to do it, and I'm basically going to hold them to the same, all right, you said it, now deliver. So I'd be interested, and I would love to be a part of that myself. If there's any way for me or any of my fellow community technologists to help out, anyone from Cisco, if you happen to be watching this, please throw my name in the hat, include myself and several others of us. I would definitely love to volunteer to help with that. Then we got into the Zoom shots, and this was a multi-pronged attack, not only at Zoom, but at Microsoft. This is one of the big things that stood out to me, and they even named it Teams. I have to be delicate here because we're good partners and good friends with both Microsoft and Cisco in varying degrees. But I think that both companies were taking pot shots at Zoom over the last couple of months. And I think, there was a certain point where Zoom became more prolific and popular in society, but Webex was 5 to 10x the amount of throughput, traffic, and usability. I never once saw a news media outlet connecting via Zoom. It was always via Webex. I doubt any governmental remote calls were happening over Zoom. They were Webex. I had shoulder surgery in February as we were just getting into the shelter-in-place status of where we're at today. And I've had 3 follow-up appointments with my surgeon. Guess what? None of them were on Zoom. They were all on Webex in 3 different locations with 3 different appointments with 2 different surgeons/PAs. All Webex. The big thing that popped out to me that I didn't know was coming were the devices. I didn't know that they had those big devices coming. That was a big announcement for me. And ergo, there's the competition for Microsoft, for the Surface line of products, for collaboration tools. They've got Surface Desk, Surface TV that we have in our EBCs at NetApp that I still believe that if we're not going to go back to the office for the rest of the year, I'd like to go get one out of the EBC and RTP and hang it up on my wall so I can use it. I do have a 6-foot whiteboard over there, but it would be much better with a 65-inch Microsoft Surface TV. We'll see. Maybe I can sweet talk the right person. But yeah, coming after Zoom and coming after Microsoft, even naming it Webex Teams and offering collaboration that on the surface didn't seem like it involved a SharePoint installation under the covers. You have my attention. And then finally, Secure X. This is the big one I think that I wanted to spend the most time on because I think it was a conversation I had on LinkedIn about 6 or 8 months ago where we were talking about what the next frontier of enterprise IT was going to be. What was the next bleeding edge thing? Because everybody's going Kubernetes and microservices and containers and cloud. And I'm like, no. It's not that complex. We had a bloat of servers in the client server era of the 2000s, so we solved that with virtualization. And then the ecosystem sprung up around virtualization, supporting it. Then we started getting into how can we break things down more? How can we automate things and make things more self-service more? And we've now gotten to this point where everything, it's table stakes to have for every product to have an API. We needed to wait on this to happen, but it took the last decade for it to happen. But every product has an API now. So, and we still had that sprawl happen out of the virtualization era where we had all these different products. Now every one of them has an API. Now every one of them can be orchestrated and automated. Now every one of them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, now we've got sort of whack-a-mole again with all these different APIs and products in this ecosystem. And now we've got to get them all, and we've got to bring them all back together and get universal control planes. So I think my opinion, prediction, whatever you want to call it, is that over the course of the next 5 years, we've seen this explosion happen over the last decade, and we're going to see this sort of regathering of everything into one place. I think we're going to see this consolidation effort happen again. Because if you look at Y2K and client server era, it was an explosion and an oversubscription of products and servers and storage arrays and networks and all. And then we consolidated everything back down into virtualization. And over the last 10 years, it's cloud and super micro servers and nodes and HCI and all these different things. Bring it all back together. Got to rein it back in. So universal control planes are going to be the big thing. The inclusion of cloud into that is sort of the anomaly because we have data gravity to deal with. We have to be able to move terabytes, if not petabytes of data around, or bring the compute to where the data is temporarily, let it do its processing, and then it can go back to doing what it normally does. Or it can be turned up on demand and expired off. So Cisco getting on board the universal control plane for things like IDS, IPS, malware prevention, centralizing the NOC back down to one product. Can you imagine how streamlined network operation centers are going to be now with their wall of displays? But and I loosely equate it to our Cloud Insights product at NetApp. And there's opportunities for collaboration and integration there as well that we don't need to be short-sighted on. Building custom dashboards that can include components from different products. A sort of universal language and standard that enterprise customers can use and pull components from each one and build their own custom dashboards. I would not be surprised if we saw companies start to pop up again. Most of them have been acquired. But if you look at things like Foglight and companies like that in the late 2000s, that was a third party, but they had the ability to pull in information and build custom dashboards for NOCs and things like that. What if NetApp and Cisco and all of the other companies and VMware started to allow this sort of extensibility to end customers to build their own things, right? Think about Prometheus or Grafana or any things like that are more prolific in the sort of cloud native space. That's what they do. They allow you to pull in from just about any source. Cloud Insights. We've got over 500 managed units that we can monitor from all kinds of third parties and our own stuff. And I look at something like SecureX that was just announced here as a similar thing. I think we're going to see over the next few years these varying degrees of universal control planes. And that's the next big frontier, in my opinion, is giving the end user, I can pull up on a phone or an iPad my entire data center, and I can get notifications, and I can see, all right, well, that's there, do that, and put at the tap of a button, it'll execute a workflow that does a thing that cleans things up, and it's all programmatic. I think SecureX, what we have coming with what we've announced with Project Astra and the aspirations that I can't talk about publicly, but the things that I know that are coming down the road. Combine that with a more modern version of a vCenter, some control plane architectures that are going on for public cloud management, asset management. There's going to be too many universal control planes at some point. So I think if there are any third parties out there that would be interested in doing something like a, dare I say, a manager of managers or a mom, you've got an opportunity coming. You've got an opportunity coming to be able to put something like this together where you can manage all of this stuff. One ring to rule them all. And you know what? Don't count out Microsoft. Never count out Microsoft. System Center could make another big resurgence with something like this. They overcomplicated System Center. It was just way too complicated. They tried to do way too much. But don't count out System Center as this sort of thing that I'm describing. With a pluggable architecture, extensibility. I'm very excited about what's coming with Astra later this year. I'm very excited to see what this SecureX is capable of from a network management standpoint. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. And I have to say the highlight of this keynote today for me, this party, was, one, all of you got lovely boys and girls joining me in the chat. I appreciate a live commentary all the way throughout it. Javed taking shots. And overall seeing a aggressive, proactive Cisco. I feel like Cisco's been resting on their laurels for a few years. They've been sitting back comfortably with a little bit to do here, a little bit of SD-WAN. I didn't hear 5G once the last hour. Blown away. I am overwhelmed that we didn't hear one mention of 5G throughout that entire opening keynote. I expect there's going to be, you go to the Innovation channel or the Heroes channel for some tech demos if you guys want to continue to watch some more stuff, but I expect there'll be some 5G. But I was blown away that even when talking about things like inclusivity and remote village connectivity, no mention of 5G. How? Okay. That really surprised me. Let's see. What do we got in the chat here? Digital Sunshine. Wonder how it works with NSX. Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're doing there. Do you think that was political? I will applaud Chuck and Cisco for coming out and sort of and having a position, taking a stance. There's a lot of, we saw none of that from SAP yesterday, really. But I applaud Chuck for coming out and, regardless of whether you agreed with it or not, taking a stance, planting a flag, having your no political being, no 5G mention. The 5G thing is going to take the better part of at least 5 years to be ubiquitous around the globe. I think satellite stuff, the stuff we've been putting into orbit, is going to help with that quite a bit. But Unless we get funding and nonprofits throwing towers up in the middle of Rwanda, I'm not sure. And you know, they have to secure those sites somehow, because a lot of Africa is still a very war-torn zone, and there's still a lot of civil war and rebellions and stuff happening. So are companies going to want to invest in connecting via towers like that, or burying lines that could just be cut and severed? I think satellite technology is what's going to hold sway, because there's no site to defend. There's no huge outgoing of cash carelessly that could just be destroyed the following day. So I think there's other opportunities for things using satellite technology, different spectrums like 5G is using to split things up and stuff like that. So that's I guess what I wanted to say was I wanted to applaud Chuck and Cisco for being willing to take a stance, put Cisco on the map and plant the flag, and here's what we support and why. You're not going to see every company do that, because they want to remain agnostic and neutral. So I applaud them for taking the stance. But I want to hear more. I've got a lot more to watch this afternoon. All sessions, by the way, are going to be available on demand starting on July, which I believe is Thursday, July 18th. You'll be able to go back to this page, CiscoLive.com, and watch any session you want to. And I'm here for that. Fantastic. They're doing them all live, they're recording them all, and they're making them all available on demand after the fact. 3 massive lessons to learn doing virtual events the right way. Microsoft nailed it and did it the exact same way during Build, or a couple months ago. So there are certain companies that are nailing this and doing it right. And I loved that Javed took the shot. Also said, coming to you live from San Jose. I think there was a Saturday Night Live parody missed opportunity there. Live from San Jose, it's Cisco Live. They could have done something fun with that. But anyway, guys, we got a lot of work to do the rest of the day. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We will be back on Thursday at noon Eastern. That's 9 a.m. Pacific for VeeamON Day 2 for 90 minutes of tech demos, and then an after-party conversation with the Senior Director of Product Strategy over at Veeam, Mr. Rick Vanover. Rickatron himself will be joining me here on stream for an after-party discussing what we saw, what was announced. We got a lot of stuff for NAS, business continuance, and backup, all kinds of stuff going on over at Veeam right now. Their integrations with NetApp, lots of stuff happening. And I do have a cheeky hint that NetApp is going to be involved in their keynote. So we definitely want to be watching the tech demos happening on Thursday. We will be here live doing it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, got your notifications turned on, all that good stuff. Get in the Discord. All the links to my that and other things, my Twitch channel, everything down below in the description. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you back here Thursday.